Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the show about nothing with John Daly, November 9th, Sunday, 2025. We're having our fireside chat this morning, some fireside chat. Figured I'd come in from the chilly bitterness of the morning. It's supposed to be nice later. It's cloudy and a little misty right now. So I just wanted to touch base with everybody. I'm downtown Springfield, coming from church, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Message this morning was, I put it in my own perspective, but the message this morning was about our bodies being a temple, and that's our body, mind, and soul. And that's something that I've been coming across a lot in my travels lately, and my own journey, and just feeling myself out and getting to know myself again. I'm not my 20 and 30-year-old self that I used to be. The 20 and 30-year-old self wouldn't even recognize me right now, today. I'm a lot more mature, wiser. I'm still funny, don't get me wrong, still funny. I still do silly things like No Shave November, which, I don't get much of a beard anyway. I'm starting to notice gray for the first time. But, so this morning's message, the book of Ezekiel was talking about the temple and the waters flowing through it and being fruitful. And the second reading was that was the gospel. The second reading was Corinthians, and again it was talking about your body being a temple. So by the third scripture reading today, the gospel, that was in the book of John. That was where Jesus goes in and cracks the whip on the Pharisees and Sadducees because they're gambling, selling indulgences, and whatever else, and he kind of loses it in a righteous way. Not the way we like to lose it. When we lose it, especially me, I lose it. And I don't quite crack the whip or anything and turn tables, but I'm sure I've done a lot of worse stuff and more embarrassing stuff at that. So the body being a temple, to me, means a couple of different things. Some of the obvious things is taking care of your body. So exercise, going to the gym. And if you can't get to the gym or don't go to the gym like me, I do a lot of walking. I enjoy hiking when the weather's right. I enjoy stretching. And, I still keep fairly physically active. A lot of my job and work and volunteering that I do, I'm just getting another shot of the fire there for you guys. So a lot of the volunteering I do and work and other things I do, I always make sure I do some physical labor, whether it's kitchen duties or house duties or whatever else is out there. Anyway, getting ahead of myself, I apologize. So that's the physical end of things, of keeping the body, as physical activity. Another thing is emotional well-being. So getting to the church, going to a counseling session, speaking to somebody, speaking to a friend, a family, a loved one, even on a bus, speaking to a stranger. If that works, that works. But the good thing is to talk to people and, get out of here and, get that stuff out of your head, get it out of your body, detox from that. That's important. The same thing with eating, what you eat, what you drink. You got to detox from that. Garbage in, garbage out. So again, that goes for the body, mind, and soul. Is what are you eating? Are you eating fatty, sugary, gluttonous foods that are going to make you depressed and have anxiety, as I do? Guilty. Are you drinking those sugary energy drinks? Are you drinking your coffee when you don't even need to be drinking coffee? I enjoy my coffee, a good cup of coffee, don't get me wrong. But they say that your body doesn't even need coffee before 10 a.m., which I can understand that. But imagine giving that up. That's almost like giving up cigarettes or something, which again, cleansing the temple and taking care of yourself. It's difficult to do those things. Your body starts to heal right away, but you still go through withdrawal symptoms. You actually have a little bit of grieving. I know we grieved loved ones when they pass or leave our lives, get out of our lives, but also you grieve things that you enjoy doing. Like if you gave up coffee, if you gave up junk food, if you gave up, like I do things during Lent, give up sugary foods like candy and soda and stuff, you start to grieve it. You go through the 5 stages of grief, even when it's something that simple. So can you imagine the difficult things you have to give up? What kind of grieving? I forget what the 5 things are. I don't have them written down in front of me, but it's something like denial, depression, anxiety, rage, and I think acceptance is the last one. And those are things that that you can acknowledge and work on. When you face those things, so that grief or that fear and stuff, you work on that. And again, that's a way of cleaning the temple and cleansing yourself. So keep physically fit, keep physically active, eat and drink the right things, think things, the stinking thinking. I was saying, I think it was from one of my shows yesterday. It's great to listen to music, but not the wrong music. You don't want to be listening to those, sappy, depressing love songs that'll, drive you off a cliff or anything. And you don't want to be, watching anything that's going to be sentimental or, no home, stay away from the Hallmark Channel if that's something that's going to drive you bonkers. Listening to music there's is a big thing. I mentioned that already. I know there was another big one. Let's see, there was music. Pictures. It's great to look at pictures. Go through your old scrapbooks and stuff from holidays of years past, and college yearbooks, high school yearbooks. But don't obsess over it, where it's going to make you depressed, or have you feel anxiety, or you're going to start to grieve something, a loss of a friendship or a loved one or whatnot. Just kind of you want to stay plugged in. But you got to be aware of what you're staying plugged into, and I think that's kind of important. When you're you can't really take care of others without taking care of yourself first. Just like you can't love others without loving yourself first. I mean, that's argumentative. It's maybe you can, but it's a lot more easier to love someone when you're loving yourself. Believe me, and that goes along with being happy and other things. So, it's stuff I'm going to think about later. Maybe I'll put something on again. It seems a little loud and busy here today. I'm in my castle again. It's the show about nothing with John Daly, Sunday, November 9th. We are having a fireside chat here, and our fireside chat discussion this morning is, just taking care of yourself. I feel great now. I didn't feel great a year ago. I was only, age-wise, it was only 1 year difference. It was 365 days. But, I was not doing anything. I wasn't taking classes. I wasn't taking workshops. I wasn't going to meetings. I wasn't staying in touch with anybody. I was content just being a hermit, being an old man, so to speak, and I'm not. I know that I have life in me, and I know that I could be a blessing to others, but I first have to be a blessing to myself. I have to, walk the walk and talk the talk. Far be it for me to not practice what I preach. I've been called many things, and a hypocrite is not one of them, and I don't expect or want it to be. Those people that know me, and they know how authentic I am, and they know I don't have a filter. So if anybody ever thinks I'm holding back, well, maybe a little bit, but anyway, if I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. And there ain't gonna be gossip about it, because I'll just tell you. I hate saying it that way, but it's true. It's you gotta laugh sometimes. You hear stuff that comes back to you, and like I said yesterday, if somebody's gossiping with you, that means they'll gossip about you. And if someone feels if you're telling me that somebody's gossiping, why do they feel okay telling you, knowing how close we are, So it's like, again, that's just garbage in and garbage out. And, I talked about, the other day, not paying attention to people's moods, because people could just be having a bad day, and people enjoy raining on your parade. People don't always like to see you happy. People don't always like to see you successful, but that's none of your business. It doesn't have to be. Don't take the invitation. Not your circus, not your monkeys. Or in my case, my circus, maybe it is my monkeys. But just live and let live, and try to stay active in doing things, starting with cleaning the temple, clearing your mind, getting all the garbage out, stop eating the stuff that's gonna, put you in the hospital eventually, and, don't be, drinking the stuff that's just, making you somebody that you're not, especially if it's not the nicest person in the world. It's I'm trying to think of the term here, but you don't want anything going in that's going to change who you are, and I mean in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? It's if you don't like the person you are, don't add fuel to the fire. If you do like the person you are, keep doing it and share it with other people, because they need that. They need that shining light in the darkness. Be a lighthouse to people, be an anchor, especially this time of year with everything going on, with holidays, and it's darker earlier, it's colder, people aren't on their A game. People get depressed, people get anxiety, people get agitated very easily, they get abrasive. Don't be offended by that stuff. It happens to ourselves, and just turn the other cheek, so to speak. That's easier to say than do. Maybe it's even easier to say just walk away. But at the end of the day, there's got to be a little self-preservation there, and again, you're not going to help people in what do I want to say? It's more difficult to hurt people. It's more difficult to help people when you're hurting than it is to hurt people when you're hurting. So hurt people. You've probably heard that before. So, be a helping hand to others, be a helping hand to yourself, enjoy life. A year ago, I was not enjoying life, and it wasn't so much stuff going on outside as it was inside, inside here and inside here. And, I've been spending some time cleaning all that stuff out, and I'm at least to feel like I'm getting my life back from 20 years ago. No, I'm not the 20 and 30-year-old again that I was, but I feel that much younger now in my heart, in my head, and in my spirit, and how I'm feeling about people again, and how I'm feeling about places and things. I kind of feel like I took some time off for at least a decade or two. And I'm taking back those decades. I'm telling you right now, I'm going full throttle forward, and I'm just gonna keep going and do the best I can with the time we can. And helping others is something like having a little show here and a little cast. Even if no one's listening now, someone may listen later, and it might help them in their day, and that helps me with my day. And it also is a little bit it's kind of like therapy, It's you go to the gym and you lift some weights and you feel better. So it kind of feels better for me to get on here and just talk out some feelings and some thoughts and stuff. And what I'm trying to do here this year is the opposite of last year. I'm trying to not be me for once, and it's working out, which is kind of scary. And how are you going to find out if you don't know? And I only found out by God's good grace, and things happening, not necessarily all good things either. You know, sometimes the ship has to sink in order for you to get up there in the life jacket and reach for a rope that someone's throwing to you. So, you know, yeah, I wish everyone the best. I hope everyone has a great day and a blessed day. I hope everyone has somewhere warm to go and safe and is surrounded by family and friends. You know, I'm going to go on with my day and you know, get a bite to eat somewhere, maybe get some brunch. That'll be nice. And healthy stuff, of course. Yeah, right. But yeah, you know, if anybody has any comments or questions or anybody want to share some funny stories or spooky stories, any tips for things, anybody has any encouragement, inspiration, you know, send that stuff my way. I'll share it with others. And, you know, you never know whose lives you're going to touch and whose day you're going to make with the simplest things. So keep being you, and have a great day. Blessings to all, and I'll catch you later. Bye.